Hello my wonderful people. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make tofu nuggets. So this is kind of like an alternative to chicken nuggets for veganism, or you could even make them if you're vegetarian or not, if you just want to try a new recipe out. I love tofu personally, but that's just kind of my diet. If you guys aren't really into tofu, this might transition you into tofu because my boyfriend does not like tofu for the life of him. Like, you can't, I can't really hide it in a lot of dishes, but as soon as I baked the tofu the way I'm going to show you guys how to make it, he ate them with me like it was no problem, like it was a chicken nugget. So if you're kind of spectacle over tofu and stuff like that, this might be a recipe for you. Give it a try, give it a go, and let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the recipe and give this video a thumbs up if you come back every single week for Ashley Wheat's videos. And let's get started. What you are going to need for this recipe is a sprouted firm tofu. I got mine from Trader Joe's, but you can clearly get it anywhere you guys get your produce. A lot of grocery stores now have a natural section, which has usually like vegan options or vegetarian options, so it's not that hard to come by anymore. So you can get a sprouted, or you can just get a firm tofu. It doesn't necessarily need to be sprouted, but I just like the taste of how the sprouted tofu tastes. So I just cut into here, and if you guys have ever eaten tofu, you know there is a liquid in the actual tofu surrounding it. So I'm just gonna drain this off and then come back with the tofu cubes. I drained my tofu, and then what you're gonna need is some paper towel. We're gonna use kind of a lot of this. I know this is not environmental friendly, but I have not been shown like a different way to do this recipe to drain out the tofu without using paper towel. So if you guys know a way, let me know below. But all I'm taking is my cube of tofu and 2 paper towel, and I'm just gonna kind of press very, very lightly because tofu is very delicate. And we're gonna go with the sides too. You're kind of just gonna press as much as you can without breaking it. You're gonna press the liquid right out, and you'll once you feel the tofu, you're gonna feel how much you can really press on it, because you're gonna feel the liquid starting to come out. So just very, very lightly, and it only took a matter of seconds for a lot of liquid to come out. And what I'm going to do is just cut this in slices. So depending on how thick you really want your tofu nuggets, this is what is going to matter. This is kind of like a semi-thick piece, and that's how thick I want my tofu nuggets. You also have to think, when we start pressing these tofu, the actual liquid is going to press it down, so it's gonna be about half this size. So if you want a really thick slice of tofu for your nuggets, I would even double the size or triple the size, because there is a lot of liquid that is going to be coming out of these babies. So I'm going to finish cutting these in these squares. And after that, you still want to be super delicate with your tofu because you do not want this to break for this recipe. And I'm just going to cut it in squares, just like so. So we got our little squares like this for our nuggets. And then after I cut it like this, I'm going to lay down some paper towel on a pan like this, and then I'm just going to lay my tofu, little nugget babies, right on top of the pan, and then I'm going to show you guys how to press the tofu after. So I'm going to cut this and then the remaining of my tofu, and I'll be right back. So I'm finished cutting, and I put them all on this tray right here. And then all I'm going to do is lay another sheet of paper towel. I'm going to double it this time. So on the bottom I have 3 sheets, and so I'm going to put 6, and I'm going to fold it in half and put it right on top. And then we're going to just push down like I was when I started the process, and we're just going to lightly press down. Okay, so I'm going to lay this right on top, and like I said, I doubled this, and I can already feel some of the water seeping out. And this helps that you cut it in these little pieces because it'll release the water quicker than it would a big block. So yeah, like I said, you do not want to press these very hard because you do not want to smash them, because then you won't have nuggets anymore. And you can literally take anything you want. I'm going to take another pan, I'm going to lay it right on top of this, and I'm going to take this Bisquick mix I have and a ketchup bottle that is not open yet, and I'm just going to lay it on top. So you can literally put like a pot and put some cans in there if you don't have a weight. If you have weights, then this is better than this. Anything you can really think of to weigh down the other pan would be a perfect way to get the water out of this. So I just laid the other pan right on top of here, and I'm going to lay this Bisquick mix and the ketchup on one side, and we are sadly going to say goodbye to these for 3 hours. I know it's a lot, but you want to make sure that you have a good texture in your nugget. So this is gonna sit on top of your oven or in your oven for 3 hours, and we will come back. So I do already have a few prepared just to show you kind of what you're looking for, so you can really see the difference. These did get smushed down, and so I'm gonna show you how to batter these and throw them into the oven, and that's basically all you have to do for these. So after you wait the 3 hours, it's kind of just an easy peasy recipe. Easy peasy recipe. So I'm gonna show you guys how to batter these babies, and we'll get along. Hello my lovely people. So I'm going to show you how to batter these real quick. So I got my tofu nuggets here. For my batter, one of the things I use is Vegenaise, and this is a vegan alternative to mayonnaise, and this is gonna like stick together. So for a batter, you kind of always want something wet and then something dry. So I went with this because if you really think about it, regular mayonnaise has eggs, which binds. So this is low-key like a binder. So we're gonna go ahead. Yeah, that was my explanation for why I use this, but I mean, I was just messing around one day and it just worked, so I just ran with it. So depending on how many tofu nuggets you have, this will probably be good for what I have right here. There's usually like a fourth a cup, half a cup. It varies, but next we're going to get our dry ingredients. So I'm going to use some flour, and I'm just going to use about a fourth cup here. And you're just gonna put it right into your bowl. And I'm just gonna season this up with a few things that I want my nuggets to taste like. But honestly, you can switch it up. You can use your own kind of spices. If you want to use exactly what I use, then go right ahead. But all our tastes are different, so you don't have to do it exactly like mine. And right here, this is some cornstarch I just have in a mason jar. I'm just gonna add, this is about a tablespoon and a half right here. And the cornstarch in this recipe, it's going to allow your tofu nuggets to really crisp up in the oven and kind of have like a fried crispiness to it instead of actually frying them. You know, we're trying to be healthy this year, you know, healthy, staying safe, washing your hands, doing all that you can. So I just stirred my cornstarch into my flour just so it's kind of throughout, just so I don't have like big pieces of cornstarch on my nuggets. We're going to season with some pink Himalayan salt. And again, I'm just gonna kind of eye it. This is, I think, like a teaspoon of salt, a few cracks of pepper, and I'm just going kind of with like some basic spices here. I got some onion powder. I'll say 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Got some paprika. And this I'm using kind of just for color and a little smokiness. Perfect. Oh, it's so good. If you have smoked paprika, that would be perfect in this recipe. I used to have some, but I ran through it so fast. I need to grab some more. Sorry. This is Cajun seasoning. And this is, I just put like a half a teaspoon. This is just for like some spices in there, you know, spicing up our tofu nuggets. I'm just gonna stir it all throughout. It already smells so good. Okay, so after you have your veganese and your cornstarch flour mixture with your spices, you're going to take your tofu nugget that you pressed already, and you also have to be very careful in this stage as well, because you don't want it to break at all, because you already have your tofu pieces. If it were to break, then you would kind of have like tofu scramble, and we don't want that. So we're just gonna press our tofu into the mayonnaise, veganese, and plop it right into the flour. I should have used a wet hand, dry hand, but we're going with it. I mean, I kind of am, right? And you're just gonna shake off the excess, and you're gonna put it right onto the pan. I know some people, they don't like to get the pan dirty and stuff like that. That was my oven. I know some people don't like to get the pan dirty and stuff, but a non-stick pan is kind of like almost essential for these nuggets because it just makes it crispier. If you put parchment paper, then it's gonna kind of seep up the moisture, and you do not want moisture in this recipe because we're dealing with tofu, and moisture is bad in this recipe. These nuggets, guys, and I'm going to batter them and put them on the pan, and I'll show you guys what it looks like before I throw them into the oven. So these are what my tofu nuggets look like before they go into the oven. They are coated. A little flour will get on the actual thing, but you don't need to worry about that sticking. It'll end up just becoming crust. And we're gonna throw this into an oven that I preheated for 375 for about like 10 to 15 minutes. And I'll show you guys what they look like fresh out the oven. And these are the tofu nuggets when they come out of the oven. You can see they're pretty crispy. You can coat these with anything that you like. Buffalo sauce, barbecue sauce, you can dip them in ketchup, whatever you like. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe that I showed you guys for tofu nuggets. If you do not personally like tofu, share it to a friend that likes tofu, or try it just because you want to try it because Ashley Eats told you to. So thank you guys so much for sticking through this whole video. Give it a thumbs up. Comment below what you guys want to see next. If you want me to try a vegan snack you've seen, or you want me to try a new recipe, let me know below. And thank you guys for all your love and support. Appreciate each and one of you.